To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the people that are on Zoom joining us to the general session, August 4th, 2025, 9 o'clock. I will ask the Secretary Treasurer Warner to call the roll.
Scott Harwitz.
Present.
Ed Warner, present. Chip Marin.
Here.
Joe McLaughlin.
Here.
And Matt Parsons.
Here.
We're all here, Mr.
All
President.
right. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so our next work session will be August 18th, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. here at Town Hall, followed by our regular meeting, general meeting at 1 p.m. We had some communications. I will make a motion to dispense with reading them. You can all read them at your leisure.
Second that.
Seconded by Trustee Warner. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody do we have any discussions on? I know we had a busy work session and a busy exec session. I don't think there's any discussions at this point in time that the trustees need to have right now. We will move on to the public hearing portion. So if you would like to address the board for 3 minutes for,
No, that's public portion, not public hearings.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this gentleman here and I know he wants to speak, right?
You can
sorry.
advance it.
So let's go to public hearings. Let's open them up. Let's go to the first one. Taking of shellfish. I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing number 1.
Second.
Seconded, Trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll ask Special Counsel Lombardo to,
This is just basically a housekeeping addition to the Blue Book. It takes the definition of shellfish from Article 1 and it reiterates it in Article 2, Section 5, so that it will clear up any ambiguity where there's a question what the state allows that we don't allow because of the definition, our definition will control and it will prohibit the activity. This is a request of James Duryea, and it makes sense. It's a housekeeping.
I didn't request it. It just was brought to my attention from the public.
Oh, James, you're being too modest.
Just so I have clarification, will this allow the harvesting of gastropods in closed water?
Yes, it basically clears up, verbiage. We consider all of these crustaceans and shellfish and stuff like that to be shellfish. So it delineates how they are spoken to, talked to in the DEC versus ours.
Okay.
This will allow the Bay Constables to enforce them not taking conch and whelk in shellfish closure areas.
So basically, you can harvest carnivorous gastropods in uncertified waters.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
You can. You can.
According to the state guidelines.
According to the state guidelines.
Not ours.
Right. But I'm saying that was the whole point of this is that currently you can't.
Right. Current. Yes.
This is just reinforcing that you can't because they fall under shellfish and the DEC shellfish closure areas are closed.
Our definition of shellfish differs from the states, and since the exemption from the ECL downstate areas because of the colonial patents, our definition would control because we have the authority. We're not preempted from making it more strict. We're just keeping our definition to control and allow the Bay Constables to enforce, as James put it.
so there seems to be some conflict in the clarification here, though.
Yeah.
There
Can
is.
we table this?
Yeah, I think this should be tabled because the intent of this was to clear up the ability for conchs to be harvested in uncertified water. The only time carnivorous gastropods can't be harvested is when there's a red algae outbreak, and that because they ingest it and it becomes a neurotoxin. So the intent was to be able to have them harvested in uncertified waters, as per the DEC's regulations.
Well, and also because we have peconic.
Well, it's up to you guys whether you want that or not.
Yeah,
It's the discussion that you need to hold whether you want them to be harvested or not.
Yeah, I think we need further discussion on this before we.
100%.
Yeah, could I make a motion to table it?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So that's that. Second, notice of public hearing on amendment of the rules and regulations relative to freshwater fish. I'll make a motion to open that public hearing.
Second that.
Seconded, trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so that is open. Special counsel, general counsel, Mr. Lombardo.
Yeah, this merely codifies at the appropriate section of taking a freshwater fish. It prohibits the use of gasoline engines, which is a state regulation that we follow, and it's just making it a clear, bright line restriction. So somebody looking into the Blue Book, like me, couldn't find that we already had it in there buried somewhere. And this just puts it with freshwater fish. So
So this is relative to the use of these vessels on our
on
ponds,
our freshwater
our
ponds.
freshwater bodies, which have become under pressure lately. Is there should we put a limitation on the size of the boats that we allow in there, even if they are, electric and?
I wouldn't, it's something we could study, but for the time being, I would just say, let's get the gasoline engine prohibition in
Yeah,
place. We can always
We
fine tune it
ran
again.
into a problem with that with jet skis back in the day. When it was like no inboards under 12 foot.
Yeah.
I think we need further discussion on that, but for now, I like that we just
I
have
mean, it's a
no.
public hearing, so I think that we should get some further input on this relative to that, and as another one.
I would agree with you, but I wouldn't hold up putting in the regulation in place while we do a little further study on types of vessels.
I think the size of the vessel and the use of a electric engine is almost self-regulating, because most of the ponds that these boats are used in are very small ponds, and the engine can only push a certain size boat. You're not going to have a 25-foot boat with a little electric engine on it. It would be
Just launching it, like
And-
you're almost self-limited on the size.
Yeah,
but
and a lot of the ponds are like you trailer a boat down and you literally take your aluminum boat off the trailer and put it in the pond. Very few of them actually have like launching ramps like we have in the saltwater bodies.
I just hate taking things like that for granted, especially with advances in technology of,
Yeah, I would agree with Scott. There is pretty amazing electric motors that they've come up with now, and there is a concern of guide services taking place in the town. So, but we've got good drafted here, and then it's a discussion that we can have later.
I think even taking that a step further, what you guys are alluding to, I have seen quite a few electric powered jet skis that are coming out for use in fresh water, and some of them go 50 miles an hour. So maybe we should also take that into consideration about either banning them or having a specific speed
Right.
limit.
And that's a good
recommendation.
discussion, but I just want to stay on topic with this here,
Yeah.
and I would like to see perhaps some input from the village of Southampton in particular, because I believe in that village there are water bodies that are getting pressure, so I'd like to hear if there is a concern relative to that. So I'd like to hold this open for another meeting, because I would like to get some input from the village on what their thoughts are and what they're seeing, and then also working out in enforcement.
Because there is a want to bring back the ferry on Ag 1 eventually. So that could also be into this with size and whatever else. So.
So let's hold this one open and get
Perhaps
further.
putting
Is
it over
anybody here?
September. Put it over to the first meeting in September so we can get the input.
Yeah, does anybody here want to speak on that? Anybody on Zoom want to speak on this public hearing?
No one.
All right, so let's,
Adjourned at 9/8.
yeah, 9/8?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Motion
A second.
seconded by trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
We adjourn that to 9/8. Okay, so that concludes our public hearings on the agenda for today. Now we go to public portion. So now you have the opportunity to address the board for 3 minutes. I see there's a gentleman here who has requested he wanted to speak. Yes, you, sir.
Good afternoon, members of the board. For the record, Philip Butler for Charlie Deegan Toronto, land use attorney. I'm here representing Brad Igna, 118 Dune Road Realty, which owns 118 Dune Road, which is directly adjacent to the premises at 128 Dune Road, which is the subject of a resolution 2025-2019 on today's agenda. I'm not here to oppose the application per se, but I am here to request that the board table the application until next month, My client, as I mentioned, owns the property right next door. He has some concerns about the new dock that's going in. He's had some very good conversations with the owner of the property as well as the builder, Mr. Mack. However, the two of them have been away on vacation, and therefore the discussions about the project have stalled at the moment. Again, my reason for being here today is just to request a little bit more time for my client to speak with his neighbor about the dock and to see if they can come to a better understanding, a resolution about the reconfiguration, the relocation of the dock. So that's the request for the board. I'm happy to answer any questions. Quite honestly, I've just been retained on this application today, so I myself am getting up to speed. I may have questions about the application for the applicant. So again, just requesting a little bit more time to speed on that.
Your client is aware that this is not the first time that this matter has been brought publicly to be discussed.
Yes, I'm aware. And also, my client did, I believe, submit correspondence to this board on July 14th, advising the board that he was in discussions with the applicant about the project and requesting additional time. Again, my engagement here isn't to oppose the project per se, but I think given that the board was...
Do you have any correspondence
That we can
back
see?
from the neighbor?
I do not, no. But again, I was just retained on Friday, so I don't know all the communications that have been had to date. So
I believe this was an application that was thoroughly vetted by this board throughout, the work session process in terms of, all the criteria and how it relates to our regulations and citing it for the factors that are relevant to this board.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with a modification of a permit once it is approved. So if there is a request that this, applicant has, that can be considered by the board, but there's no guarantee that we would grant that if it was outside of the spectrum of what it is that we do relative to Blue Book regulations and how we function. So I don't know, what your thoughts are on this, but I think this was looked at pretty extensively in terms of where this was cited.
yeah, I'm not here to suggest that there's anything improper about the application conceptually or specifically, but this is a discussion that's happening between two neighbors.
So yeah, I can
So-
understand that one
I
neighbor doesn't.
understand, I just don't, it's hard for us to substantiate, we don't have any correspondence with the actual permittee
Well,
or the person
Yeah.
applying for the permits. If we had exactly what you're saying coming from the person who was applying for the permit, I could kind of grant this or understand this, but as Scott said, it's
And didn't say anything.
it's amendable. It's amendable down the road. So if your client has discussions and they come to an agreement that maybe they want to alter the permit, then they can reapply.
I appreciate the point, but that does also put things in a very different posture when you have an approved permit versus a pending application. So,
Yes and no. Yes and no. From your perspective, yes. But from this board's perspective that is following its rules and regulation on how we manage bottom lands, underwater lands within our jurisdiction, then I would say no, because this is what we do. This is the criteria that we set forth, and we go by that. And I certainly don't want to set a precedence of this sort of negotiation going on here when things are clearly, in the regulations and are meeting the tests of, what this board looks for, especially where we're citing docks, and what the specific concerns are. And that's why I say it's clearly, within the ability for this owner to approach us and request a modification of the permit, and the board could consider granting that or not.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like, at this stage of the game here.
right, but at the same time, if the subsequent discussions with the adjoining property owner result in changes to the plans, then I understand what you're saying. We'd be able to, or rather the applicant would be able to come back for a modification. But in the absence of some kind of exigent circumstances, is there any reason why we
You're
can't?
not presenting any exigent circumstances, just that they're talking. So
That's what I'm saying, though.
So-
There's no reason to rush to an approval. So if the parties are having discussions, that could result in
There's
changes.
no reason, there's no reason to
Yeah,
delay.
the applicant isn't asking for this.
This was a pretty
the
extensive
process.
process. This was a pretty extensive process that was brought along with the applicant. If the applicant were to write an email to us and say, please, could you table this till I have discussions with that neighbor, we'd be open for it.
And I would have made that request to the applicant with the benefit of time, but as I mentioned, I was just retained on Friday afternoon. I haven't even been retained yet, so happened that quickly. So I'm here out of courtesy. But I understand there may have been a long vetting process, but even with respect to today's meeting, I think it was mentioned that there was no hearing on this. So my client didn't get notice of every step along the way. He was kind of reacting to notice at the last
You
second.
said you
That's
haven't
my
been
point.
retained, so how can we,
We didn't know about today's meeting until this morning. He sent me the notification about this meeting this morning, which is why I rushed out here without a retainer. So again, it's not an opposition. It's just can we please have additional time to talk to the neighbor about the project?
Well,
And ideally, that won't even involve me because I would rather they work it out themselves.
I understand that, and the reality is, I'm just listening to this, that I'm sure the contractor's not running down there tomorrow to do this project. They are well within their rights to have a conversation, and that owner is well within their right to come here and request a modification. It's up to this board to determine whether or not they would grant that modification.
This is technically like a building permit. You don't, unless you need a variance from ZBA, you apply for a building permit to build a garage. You build a garage, neighbor doesn't like it. Didn't require a public hearing, and that's kind of where we are with this as
We're
well.
granting no
I understand the
relief.
Regulations, I do.
Yeah, we're granting no relief. We're granting permission to utilize our underwater lands in full compliance with our regulations. We're not granting any relief here. There's no,
There was no reason for a public hearing on this particular application.
straightforward.
I understand that. And again, I'm not saying there's anything about this application that's out of compliance. It's again, just a request for additional time for the neighbors to have discussions. That's it. I understand that it's effectively a non-discretionary permit once it meets all the criteria. I do permitting work like this myself, but
what you're asking for is becomes problematic at some point, as a matter of process.
and we're not looking to unduly delay this. I think my client has made steps in an effort not to delay it, but as a result of not being able to speak with the applicant since July 14th, again, we're here to request additional time so we can re-engage.
Again, it's modifiable.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your public comment, and I guess the board will take that into consideration as we move through this agenda. And I think you're aware of the process and, what your client or this property owner can do if they want to change their project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else here that would like to address the board?
Or on Zoom.
Anybody on Zoom want to address the board?
No one that has their hand up.
No one has their hand up?
No.
Okay. That being said, I'd like to close public portion.
Second that.
Seconded by trustee Parsons. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's go to trustee resolution 2025-26. I think this has to be tabled to our next meeting.
Yes.
Yes, yes, second?
Yes.
Seconded trustee
Second.
Warner. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, table that to the next meeting. Then we have trustee resolution 2025-210, second renewal application for Ed Warner Jr. and James Warner at 31. Can you place, you know these people? Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Seconded by trustee McLaughlin. All in favor?
Aye.
One recused.
One recusal, Mr. Warner. Okay. We have trustee resolution 2025-211, application of Audrone Julia Pianca, 1 Marinea Place, Hampton Bays, tax map 900, 259-2-32. Recommend its approval.
Second.
Seconded trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
Trustee resolution 2025-212. First renewal application C. Weiner, 20 Sandringham Lane, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-271-1-48.5, body of water, Shinnecock Bay. We worked on this, our work session, approved it last year, so we're looking to approve it again. I recommend its approval. I need a second.
Second that. Second, trustee Parsons, all in favor?
Aye.
Trustee application 2025-213, application from Michael Prios, 14 Ocean Drive, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County, tax map 900-1-38, body of water, Shinnecock Bay. We worked on this at work session. It meets the Blue Book approval. I need a second on this.
Second.
Second, trustee McLaughlin, all in favor?
Trustee resolution 2025-214, application for Robert Tannenhauser, 12 Sun Court, Hampton Bay, Suffolk County, tax map 900-269-1-2.3, body of water, Shinnecock Bay. Again, we worked on this at work session, and it's a approvable application. I need a second on it.
Second that.
Seconded, trustee Parsons, all in favor?
Aye.
Trustee resolution 2025-215, application for Larry Tuber, 12 Gilbert Road, Hampton Bay, Suffolk County, tax map 900-374-1-16.1, body of water, Shinnecock Bay. Again, we worked on this on application at work session, meets Blue Book approval. I need a second on it.
Second that.
Seconded, trustee Parsons, all in favor?
Aye. Trustee Resolution 2025-216, first renewal application of 140 Hayground Cove Road Partnership LLC and 140 Hayground Cove, Watermill, New York. Tax map number 900-102-3-14.32, and this is a body of water in Mecox Bay.
Second.
All in favor?
Trustee Resolution 2025-117, this is a first renewal application of 48 Redwood LLC and 48 Redwood in the Village of Sag Harbor, New York. Tax map number 903-1-3-16. This is the body of order, Sag Harbor Cove. Second?
Second.
It's 2025-217,
217, what did I say? Okay.
want to be
217.
clear.
Give a second on
Seconded,
that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Grady Warner.
Trustee Resolution 2025-218, this is an application of 658 Flying Point Road in Watermill, New York, tax map number 900-160-3-37.7. This is a body of water in Burnett's Creek. This is the discussion of the dock that had gone back and forth of the size and the length, and we believe it's not in navigable water for that creek. I'd ask for a second.
Second that.
Second.
Seconded, trustee Warner, all in favor?
Trustee Resolution 2025-219, this is an application of 128 Dune Road, Bay LLC, and 128 Dune Road, Bridgehampton, New York. This was also a discussion we had to make sure that the existing dock and catwalk were on permits as of prior. And we also adjusted the size of the catwalk, so it's 4 foot. Could I have a second on this one?
Second.
Seconded, trustee McLaughlin, all in favor?
All right. This is trustee resolution 2025-220. This is an application of Jody Delia Famina Kim.
Della Famina.
Della Famina. Kim, 40 Noyak Harbor Road in Noyak, tax map number 900-391-1-22. This is the body of Noyak Harbor.
Second on that.
Seconded, trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye. Trustee resolution 2025-221, application 142 Tap Point Road, LLC, 142 Tap Point Road. North Sea, this is tax limit 900-59-1-45 by War, North Sea Harbor. Can I have a second?
Second on that.
Seconded, trustee Warner, all in favor?
Resolution 2025-222, this is application of Steve Markowitz at 121 Lee Avenue. This was discussed in work session. Significant tax amount 904-11-1-39, body of water, Hetty Creek, kind of second.
Second?
Seconded, trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
I have trustee resolution 2025-223. Second renewal application of Stephen Harwin at 7 Bay Meadow Lane, West Hampton, New York. Tax map 900-382-1-17.17. Body of water, Sandpiper Canal. Can I get a second on this, please?
Second?
Seconded, trustee Warner and McLaughlin, about the same time. All in favor?
Aye.
Trustee resolution 2025-24, budget transfer for trustee vehicles. I recommend its approval. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded, trustee Marin, all in favor?
Aye.
Trustee resolution 2025, 225, warrant number 12 for 2025, for the trustees. For the sum of $389,518.27. The check register reads as Automotive Rentals, Inc., $8,381.63. Call ahead, $86. Allen Financial, $4,798.92. Computer Science, $1,036.50. PSEGLI for $110.80. Riverhead Building Supply for $1,305.63. Town of Southampton for $3,700. It's hard for me to say this. $372,599.89. UMC Medical Consultants PC $1,200 and WB Mason $7.98 for a total of $389,518.27.
See, that wasn't so hard.
It's a hard one to swallow.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Pay the bills, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass a big bill. Trustee resolution, 2025, 226. Authorized payment of services to Pond Brook Marine Basin. This is to work on the barge that we need, them
Fair.
to do the, hull, and the stern, retrofitting. So I recommend its approval. I need a second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, trustee discussions for various items. Do we have anything else that we need to? Huh? You good?
Yes, I'm good.
It's been a busy day. We've got a lot going on.
Yes. Yes.
All right, plovers have fledged, right? People should be happy. Picnic area is open,
Yes.
right? Drive on beach. You can go there and have a good time with your family. Please be sensible. Be safe. Follow the rules and regulation. Okay,
I'm the water as well.
Water, everybody.
right? Everybody be safe on the water as well. Exactly. Watch those no wake zones.
Yes.
Stay in the channel. Right? Follow the regulations. There's a lot of people out there that are watching.
Yep.
Right? We want public safety. There's been a lot of road accidents this year that I've been reading about throughout the entire country. I don't know whether we're just too sensitive to it, but there's been a lot going on. You know, they enacted the legislation that people have to have a license now or
Yep.
proof that they've taken a class, but yet
GPS doesn't tell you everything.
exactly
Take online as well, I believe.
courtesy and common sense. Be safe out there, folks, okay? Anybody else?
Just take the boating class online, I believe.
You can take the boating class online, absolutely, and
Those who need it.
we're all good? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
I would like to go into executive session briefly with the board. So second, to adjourn the meeting, go into executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Brief executive.